Good morning, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. To all of those here who are mothers, to all of those who have been mother-like to us. And I have many of those in my life, and I am just so thankful for them. Of course, for my mum, too. But for those that have loved me like a mother. So, happy Mother's Day. Welcome to our time of gathering this morning here at University Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Michael Richards, and I will be leading our time together this morning. I would ask that you please take time right now to silence all of your electronic devices. And as you have silenced those, open up your hearts and your minds as we settle into our sacred space. Before we begin our worship time, I would invite representatives of our committees or groups to come forward to the microphone over here and share their news with us this morning.
So that I don't have to keep turning around and around and around all the time, our lovely youth group did this amazing job on my hair. I believe they might be taking appointments. Check with Jules. I think Jules is the leader for this. But I appreciate them. I appreciate everyone who participated in the auction, and it was a fun time, and our youth are amazing. So if you don't spend time with them because they are just delightful. Thank you.
All right, John Mowbray on behalf of Facilities and Grounds, and first, on behalf of Facilities and Grounds, Happy Mother's Day. And also just want to thank the following folks for coming out yesterday and helping. Lorraine Williams, Martha Kirby, Amy, Derek, Dave Simons, and Carl Packham. I think I've got everybody there. So just remember, Workday is typically the third Saturday of every month. We've changed it the last couple months. But third Saturday of every month from about 9 to 12. All right, so thank you.
Hello, Miak speaking for hospitality. Do you know what next Sunday is in the hospitality calendar? Okay, well, you got 90% of it then. We'll be having our May potluck next Sunday, May 21st. Our theme will be Latin food. Examples would be Mexican, Cuban, or Puerto Rican type food. All vegan options are appreciated. Looking for volunteers to help set up and clean up. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. I will follow with another Happy Mother's Day. I would like to remind everyone that we are still looking for volunteers for teaching the kids a hobby or skill that you know over the summer. So if you're at all interested in that, the form is available on the Notable News. So just go, look, sign up, and share your wonderful knowledge with the next generation. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Michelle Flores. Women's group, first Friday of every month will be Friday, June 2nd is our next one here at the church, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you all for sharing the important news of our fellowship here. My opening words this morning come from an article called "Even in the Most Broken Places, There is Room for Love," and it was written by Becky Brooks. Mother's Day is complicated. Joyful for many, yes, but complicated. It's right there on the calendar, even if your mother has died, even if you have been told yet again that you're still not pregnant, or even if you've never been more scared that you are right now because you are pregnant. It's Mother's Day. Even if your own mother's priorities included everything but you, there's going to be a Mother's Day. There's going to be a meme that is on all of your social media with flowers and pink stuff. Even if you have scars, the ones you can see or the ones you can't, it's Mother's Day. That cake mix commercial is going to roll out 4 times an hour, even when you can't stop shaking and crying because you can't believe you slapped your little boy today. It's Mother's Day. And we all have to live with that in those silent, breathless moments, because even when the baby dies, it's Mother's Day. And so let's go to church. Let's be a church where we can acknowledge how difficult it is to have this day, right alongside how joyful this day can be. Let's be a church where we don't pretend there aren't inky depths of space between us, even when we sing. Let's be a church that fills the space between our differences with love. Because even in the most broken places, there is room for love. We can be that church. Our opening music this morning will be led by Janet Levins and Alicia Tran. The words and music are written by Rabindranath Tagore and Alfred Morton Smith in your hymn books, number 191.
Please stand as you're willing and able.
This morning, as we light our chalice, Anastasia is going to light it for us. Her pronouns are she and her. Anastasia is 10. And she is happy that she has finished testing. Yay! Let us recite our words in the light of truth and the warmth of love. We gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. And now please join me in the words that affirm who we are as a faith community. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. I want to wish a warm welcome to all who are gathered here on this Mother's Day, especially those of you who are here for the first time. We encourage you to come and visit us several times before you make up your mind regarding becoming more involved with us as a congregation. We also welcome those of you who are joining us through social media. We're glad that you have joined us here as well. We have a minister who speaks twice a month. She's speaking with us today. And on the remaining Sundays, we have speakers from academia, charitable organizations, or even members of our own congregation who share with us topics that relate to one or more of our 7 principles. Please take a moment and turn to those near you and welcome them this morning. That was the signal for Paula to start sprinting from the back to the front. Now is our time for our joys and our concerns. This is a time for us to share briefly your personal joys or concerns with your church family here and through social media. But please remember that we are going out over the airwaves, so be careful not to disclose anything that you don't want the whole wide world to know.
Amy Mowbray, it's a definite joy that Derek Caitlin is in our congregation. I just wanted to call him out, which I know he enjoys so much. If you know me, you know I don't love driving a truck, but I do it. It's very handy. Because John bid on Derek to detail the truck, I actually like driving the truck. He really, I'm telling you guys, I almost am afraid to say this, if he does this again next year, you guys should be fighting. He spent 5 hours on my truck. It's like having a new vehicle. So I just wanted to say thank you. You went above and beyond, Derek, like you always do. Thank you. Oh, I forgot to mention I'm going to add some more money because, he really overdid it. So we're going to put some more money in the basket for the auction. So
I will say, when you drove up in the truck, I thought John was bringing the car.
Hello, my joy is that it's Mother's Day and Mom decided to take us to a nice breakfast, and it was yummy.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. So I have a few joys. I'll try to keep it brief. Lindsay invited me to an event that Michelle hosted last night, and I gotta say, we had some incredible dancers. And it was a blast. And if she hosts it again next year or puts it in the auction, it was the Roaring 20s night, and we all, except for me, because I got invited last minute and I didn't have a costume. But we had some fabulous flappers dresses, and Michelle wore this lacy thing with red and fringe, and every time she twirled, the fringe would spin out. Anyway, come. It was just the best.
Can you help me?
Yeah, unspoken joy. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. I just want to say thank you to my mom and to Joey. I know Joey Cole's not here today, but I love her very much, and I miss her a lot. So.
I have a couple of joys. I also went to the flapper party. It was fabulous, so that was a great joy. My joy is today that I have all 3 of my daughters with me home for a couple of days, which is great. And I always like to remind people that I became a Unitarian Universalist. I joined a church on Mother's Day in 2002 after the service was about, the difficulties of not being able to become a mother, and that really spoke to me, and I was like, where has this place been my whole life? So I always remind people that this is the anniversary of when I became a UU. Thank you.
I have two joys, and like one's mixed with a concern. So my main joy is I am blessed beyond measure that I have a mother-in-law who loves me like a daughter, and it is what I needed. That's all I'm going to say. And the second joy and little concern is tomorrow I turn in my first draft of my doctoral thesis. It is mostly done. I just need to tweak a few more things and move some stuff in appendices. The writing's done, I think. We'll see when I read over it today. So fingers crossed that I'm not up until midnight tomorrow getting it done, and it actually gets turned in on time. So, but the end of the journey is almost in sight, and it is thanks to you all and your support. So it is a joy of you guys as well. Thank you.
Gary and I have a joy. This week we made the final payment on our mortgage. We are debt-free for the first time since 1990.
Let us take time to think and lift up these joys and concerns that we have heard about this morning. Let us also take time to lift up those joys and concerns that we have in our hearts. And let us take a moment. Amen. Do we have time for all ages? We do. Either one. I'll race you.
Hello, everyone. Today is Mother's Day. For many of us, it is a day to feel and show gratitude, thankfulness, towards our mothers or other mother figures in our lives. Mother's Day isn't the only day of gratitude in our calendar. Father's Day, Thanksgiving, Veterans Day, Independence Day, these can all be seen as days of showing thankfulness in some way. But what is the purpose of showing thankfulness? What is the point of being grateful? Is it that people feel good when they are thanked? That would be noble enough reason to encourage people to show gratitude to others. But then what about holidays like Independence Day and Thanksgiving? There aren't actual people receiving the thanks on those days. Some people might think there's a God receiving the thanks, but there are plenty of people who don't believe in any gods who still find these holidays meaningful. So what is it? Well, it turns out that feeling grateful is good for humans. Feeling thankful makes us happier. It makes us healthier. It can help us be kinder, get through difficult times, even sleep better. Just spending a little time each day listing things we're thankful for can have dramatic positive effects. So let's try it right now. What is something you're thankful today, big or small?
My daughter. My marriage. My mother.
This church.
Very good one, very good one.
Carl did the plumbing.
Have you checked it?
Carl fixed the pool pump at our house also.
Everybody hear that? Carl's a plumber. Yeah, we know who's the coffee, Tyler. Children.
We have a lot to be grateful for, don't we, as we can see. In addition, before I step down, I'm going to share 3 ideas with you for bringing more gratitude into your everyday lives. The first is to pick a daily meal and share things you're grateful for over it. If you often eat as a family, you can all share with each other. And if you usually eat alone, you can share with yourself or with pets or with plants or with a favorite TV character who's playing in the other room. The important thing is to share it. The second idea is to keep a gratitude journal. Pick a notebook or a note app and every day write down, or have a grown-up write down for you, 3 things that you're thankful for on it, or any other number if you don't like the number 3. It's arbitrary. The final idea is to write a letter to someone you're thankful for, telling them why, and then deliver it to them. Doing this just once can be wonderful, but doing it regularly, every month or for big holidays, for instance, can be even better. So there we have it, the importance of gratitude and 3 ideas for bringing the wonders of it more into our lives. Thank you.
We now have the opportunity to show our support for the ministries not only of Triple U, but also of a non-profit organization in the region who reaches out to others in need. 40% of our offering goes to a different group each quarter of the year. And this month we are supporting Save the Children. Yes. So as the baskets are being passed around, we're going to hear a piece called A Mother's Love, sung by our own choir. Thank you, choir, for those lovely words and music. Let us sing our children out this morning. We love you and bless you and send you on your way. We love you and bless you today and every day. So as you all know by now, if you didn't already, today is Mother's Day. And our speaker this morning is our very own Rev Tracie. And she will be talking about Mother's Day and how this day can elicit multiple feelings. Some good, some bad, about our mothers and those who have been mother-like to us throughout the ages. Rev Tracie.
Today, we celebrate Mother's Day, a day dedicated to honoring and appreciating the incredible women in our lives who have raised us, supported us, and loved us unconditionally. But for some, this day can be a difficult one. And I'll be honest, it is for me. For those who have lost their mothers, Mother's Day can be a painful reminder of their absence. For those who are estranged from their mothers, it can be a day of mixed emotions. And for those who have struggled with infertility, have experienced miscarriages, or are unable to have children, it can be a day filled with heartache and longing. It's important to acknowledge that Mother's Day is not a one-size-fits-all celebration. And while some may be able to spend the day with their mothers, showering them with love and affection, others may find themselves feeling isolated and alone. And while it's easy to get caught up in the commercialization of the holiday, it's crucial that we take time to recognize and support those for whom Mother's Day is hard. And how do we do that? Well, an easy way is to be mindful before wishing every person who presents as a woman as Happy Mother's Day. It's checking in on friends who you know are struggling today. You all know who your friends are who may have struggled with infertility or loss or just estrangement. It doesn't have to be much. You don't even have to mention the day. You can just say, hey, thinking of you, what's up? That can work wonders. And if today is hard for you, acknowledge it. Take the space and time you need. If you have lost your mother, grief and celebration can coexist. If you're estranged from your mom and or struggle with being a mom or mom-like person, consider how you mother yourself, how others mother you, and how you mother others. Wherever you are in the spectrum of this being the best day ever and counting down the hours and minutes until it's Monday, know that you are not alone. For example, today has always been one of my least favorite holidays. Many reasons. I was once a stepmom and now I'm not, and that wasn't by my choice. I'm estranged from my mother and did not have a good relationship growing up. I've lost pregnancies that were very wanted and have now accepted that that's simply not an option for me. I don't let the cats have access to my debit card, so they can't get me flowers, and besides, they eat them when I bring them in the house. Sorry, had to lighten that up a little bit. And while I would often spend the day thankful that the commercials, especially that Publix one, would stop soon, it took me becoming a Unitarian Universalist to discover a new way of looking at the holiday. Because that's when I found out about Julia Ward Howe. Howe, an American social activist, poet, and Unitarian, was the founder of a Mother's Day of Peace in the United States. However, her vision for the holiday was quite different from the commercialized version we know today. In 1870, following the end of the Civil War, Howe wrote the Mother's Day Proclamation, a call for peace and disarmament. In it, she urged women to come together and use their collective power to promote peace and social justice, saying, and I'm going to read the whole thing. We have a brief part in our hymnals, but I think it's important to hear all of it. Arise, all women who have hearts, whether your baptism be that of water or of tears. Say firmly, we will not have great questions decided by irrelevant agencies. Our husbands shall not come to us reeking with carnage for caresses and applause. Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience. We women of one country will be too tender of those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs. From the bosom of the devastated earth, a voice goes up with our own. It says, disarm, disarm. The sword is not the balance of justice. Blood does not wipe out dishonor, nor violence indicate possession. As men have often forsaken the plow and the anvil at the summons of war, Let women now leave all that may be left of home for a great and earnest day of council. Let them meet first as women to bewail and commemorate the dead. Let them solemnly take counsel with each other as to the means whereby the great human family can live in peace, each learning after his own time the sacred impress not of Caesar, but of God. In the name of womanhood and of humanity, I earnestly ask that a general congress of women without limit of nationality may be appointed and held at some place deemed most convenient and at the earliest period consistent with its objects to promote the alliance of the different nationalities, the amicable settlement of international questions, the great and general interests of peace. Howe's original idea for Mother's Day was not a celebration of individual motherhood, but rather a recognition of the collective power of women to bring about social change and promote peace. She wanted it as a day for women to come together, regardless of their nationality, race, religion, and work towards a better future for all. We don't exactly see that at the entrance to the grocery store, huh? The Peace Alliance has this to say about Julia Ward Howe's idea for Mother's Day. While Mother's Day has presently lost much of its early edge for justice, it's important to note some of the underpinning intentions and recommit ourselves to its prescient calling. At a time when our country is again engaged in devastating and costly wars abroad, and many of our own communities are torn apart by violence, it's time for Mother's Day to return to its roots. In the spirit of Ward Howe's original call, this occasion can be a time to dedicate ourselves on behalf of mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers everywhere to rise up and protect our most vulnerable by calling for our leaders to make a directional shift in the course of our nation. There is no need more urgent than addressing the devastation brought on by violence in all of its forms, affecting the lives of untold millions in our nation and around the world. Then, we may finally see the carnage and devastation of violence and war fade into its own history. There could, of course, be no better way to honor our mothers. So while Mother's Day has evolved over time into a more individual celebration of motherhood, it is important to remember Julia Ward Howe's original vision and continue to work for a more just and peaceful world. Howe's original idea for Mother's Day can offer solace and strength to those of us who struggle with this holiday. Her call for women to come together and use their collective power to promote peace and social justice speaks to the idea that we are not alone in our struggles. Rather than focusing solely on the individual experience of motherhood, Howe's vision of Mother's Day recognizes the interconnectedness of all women and the importance of supporting one another. And when I say all women, I absolutely include our trans, non-binary, and gender-fluid beloveds who identify as women. For those who have lost their mothers or are unable to have children, Howe's message of promoting peace and working towards a better future for all can provide a sense of purpose and meaning on a day which can otherwise feel isolating. Furthermore, Howe's original vision for Mother's Day emphasizes the power of activism and community to affect change. By coming together and working towards a common goal, we can create a better world for ourselves and for future generations. So while the commercialized version of Mother's Day may not resonate with everyone, Julia Ward Howe's original vision offers a powerful alternative that can inspire and uplift those who struggle with the holiday. I'm thinking of those shirts that people wear at Pride that says "Free Mom Hugs." How powerful is that? I have a shirt that says "Cool Aunt," and let me tell you that that is a title I hold dearer than Reverend. And perhaps you know people who have mothered you or whom you have mothered regardless of your gender. This day is not just for those who have great experiences with mothers and motherhood. This is a day when we can all be there for each other, especially the marginalized and the oppressed in our communities. Today is about community as well as celebrating some of our individuals. What would happen if today was once again a Mother's Day of peace, where we said we will not stand for the violence and death and harm? What if we took today to make sure that everyone feels that unconditional love that mothers are to give? I wonder if you're willing and able, you might join me for a little bit of a meditation. These words were written by Sarah Goodman and gives us a pause to consider all the aspects of today. Join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Find a comfortable place for your body. Breathe as deeply as you are able. Hold in your mind the image of all things, all beings, coming from the same tree, roots stretched in limitless tangles of connection and sustenance, interconnected and interlaced in a web of living and dying that is so beautifully designed and at most times invisible. Join me in breathing. Breathe in for our lives touched by ancestors known and unknown. Breathe out for living lives that will touch our descendants. Breathe in for folks held in loving arms as they were raised up. And breathe out for folks who had to make their own way too early in their lives. Breathe in for beloveds we hold close in our hearts every day. And breathe out for beloveds we sometimes have trouble reaching out to. Breathe in for loving. Breathe out for losing. Breathe in for parents doing the best they can. Breathe out for the impossible decisions they've had to make. Breathe in for those living with addictions, mental illness, and grief. Breathe out for those living with and caring for folks living with addiction, mental illness, and grief. Breathe in for caregivers of all kinds who give of themselves to make other people's lives better, more whole. And breathe out to honor this holy work. Let us take a moment of silence together. If you know someone who is struggling on this day, reach out to them. Let them know that you see them and that you care. Listen to them, offer your support, and be there for them. Remember that grief and pain are not something that can be fixed with a card or a gift, but that compassion and understanding can go a long way. And if you're one of those for whom Mother's Day is hard, know that you are not alone. It's okay to feel sad, angry, frustrated. It's okay to take time for yourself, to grieve and to process your emotions. Remember that your feelings are valid and that you deserve love and support on this day just as much as everyone else. I want to extend my love and support to all of us who are struggling on this Mother's Day. Whether you're missing your mother, struggling with infertility, or feeling disconnected from the celebration, know that you are not alone. And I also want to take time to extend my love and support for those who have wonderful Mother's Days, who are good mothers, who have raised amazing humans. May you all feel the love and support today as well. May we all take time to acknowledge and support one another on this day and every day. And may we all find ways to rise up together to put an end to war and violence in all of its forms. May we all feel the love of community today and every day and spread that love out into the wider world. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be.
We come to a time when we extinguish our chalice, and please join me with these words. We extinguish this flame, not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These Our closing music this morning is hymn number 91, Mother of All, and we're going to sing the first 3 verses. Please stand and join me as we sing. Mother of all, in every age, in every clime adored, by saint, by poet, and by sage, your praises I have sought. Goddess of nurture and of love, all nature sings your care. In life's extravagance you grew the gift of giving fair. O Spirit of unfolding grace and deepest mystery, teach us compassion's gentle face and wisdom's mastery. Thank you. Please be seated. My closing words this morning are titled Prayer for All Who Mother. It was a prayer written by the Reverend Dr. Victoria Weinstein, who is the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greater Lynn in Massachusetts. We reflect in thanksgiving this day for all those whose lives have nurtured ours, the life-giving ones who heal with their presence, who listen in sympathy, who give wise advice, but only when asked for it. We are grateful for all those who have mothered us, who have held us gently in times of sorrow, who celebrated with us our triumphs, no matter how small, who noticed when we changed and grew, who praised us for taking risks, who took genuine pride in our success, and who expressed genuine compassion when we did not succeed. On this day that honors mothers, let us honor all mothers, men and women alike, who from somewhere in their being have freely and wholeheartedly given life and sustenance and vision to us. Dear God, Mother, Father of us all, grant us life-giving ways, strength for birthing, and nurturing spirit, that we may take attentive care of our world, our communities, and those precious beings entrusted to us by biology, or by destiny, or by friendship, fellowship, or fate. Give us the heart of a mother today. Amen. My friends, our time of gathering and worship has ended. Now our time for service begins. So go out into the world, be strong and of good courage, hold fast to that which is good, render unto no one evil for evil, but go rejoicing in the power of the creative and loving Spirit. But first, before you go, we have coffee, we have drinks, and speaking of drinks, we have mimosas. available for mothers and those who are mother-like, and even for some of us guys, too. So please join us. Thank you for coming today. And now in our postlude. And our heartfelt thanks to Alicia Tran for accompanying us and for her music today. Thank you, Alicia.